This tip is going to illustrate how to find a regulatory agenda for a specific agency within Hein Online's Federal Register. U.S. agencies are required to publish semi-annual regulatory agendas describing regulatory actions they are developing or have recently completed in the Federal Register. These agendas have been published in the Federal Register every year since 1983, and they're typically published once during the spring and once during the fall, and they can be found in the Unified Agenda of Federal Regulatory and Deregulatory Action section in the Federal Register. Beginning with the Fall 2007 edition of the Unified Agenda, the only agenda entries published in the Federal Register are rules that are likely to have a significant economic impact on a substantial number of small entities, and entries that have been selected for periodic review under the Regulatory Flexibility Act. The administration's goal is to move the agenda process to an internet-based format. Therefore, any entries that aren't published in the Federal Register can be viewed in full text at the reginfo.gov site. So let's take a look at an example for searching for these regulatory agendas in Hein Online. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to search for regulatory agendas of the Consumer Product Safety Commission from 2006 to 2008. And before we actually start our search, I'm going to pull up the beginning of a unified agenda from within the Federal Register to show you the table of contents sections that are found at the beginning of each agenda section. So I'm going to go to volume 73, and I'm just going to pull up page 71095. And you'll see here, this is the introduction section of a unified agenda, and there's a table of contents here. And if you scroll down in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see where the agency agendas contents list begins, and it's going to list each agency with the corresponding page number upon which that agency's agenda begins. So if we scroll to our next page, you'll see it continues, but then you'll also see a list of agencies who don't have entries identified for inclusion in this print edition of the Regulatory Flexibility Agenda. So if your agency is found on this list, then you would have to go to the reginfo.gov website to view the full text of that agency's agenda. So now let's take a look at an example here. I'm going to open our field search option, and in the first search box, go ahead and enter the agency name. So in this case, Consumer Product Safety Commission. We're going to search across the full text, click phrase. In the second search box, you're going to enter agency agendas, select full text and phrase. Since we know the table of contents section that lists the agendas begins with the term agency agendas, we're going to narrow our search to those specific pages. And then we're going to type in unified agenda. Click on phrase and search the full text to narrow it to the specific pages within the Federal Register upon which the unified agenda appears. Then you're going to highlight Federal Register from the title listing, enter the years that we're focusing on, so 2006 to 2008. And then I'm going to choose a sort by method of volume date ascending so we can see our 2006 entries first. And this is going to give us 6 results. And you'll see if you quickly look at the coverage field, there's 2 results for each year, and this coincides with the spring and the fall, in which we indicated earlier that the agendas are typically published twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. So now if we take a look at our first result here from 2006, and it happens to be the spring edition, click View Matching Text Pages, and we're going to link directly to page 22271. And on this page, you're going to see the table of contents as we looked at earlier, and then you're going to see agency agendas and the list of agencies and the corresponding page upon which those agendas appear. So if we look under our independent regulatory agencies, we'll find our Consumer Product Safety Commission, and their agenda begins on 23/547. So now we can quickly jump to that page by using our page drop down at the top of our browser here. So I'm going to click on that and choose 23/547. And this is going to bring us to the first page upon which the Consumer Product Safety Commission's regulatory agenda begins. Now let's go back and look at some of our other search results. To do this, I'm just going to click Search and Search History. This is going to give us a link to our most recent search, so I'm going to click on that. Now we're back to our initial 6 results. Now let's take a look at the result from the fall edition of 2008. Click View Matching Text Pages and then link to page 71095. You'll see on this page where our table of contents begins for the fall 2008 edition of the Unified Agenda. Down here we'll see where our agency agendas begin, and we'll see the list of agencies, and we're looking for the independent regulatory agencies, so I'm going to click Next Page. And here within this list we do not see Consumer Product Safety Commission. So now if we continue reading on this page, you'll see the list of agencies that did not have entries identified for inclusion in this print edition. And we'll see Consumer Product Safety Commission is listed here. This means that we're going to have to go to the reginfo.gov site to find the full text of their agency agenda. Now in Hein Online, we've created a link to make this quick and easy for you. So if you click on the Resources tab, click Important Federal Register Links, and then we're going to click on this link here that says to access the current regulatory plan and the unified agenda of regulatory and deregulatory actions. So we're going to click on that link, and this is going to bring us to the reginfo.gov site. Now this is linking you to the current unified agenda, which happens to be the spring of 2009. So if we want to go back and see fall of 08, click on Historical Unified Agenda and Regulatory Plan. Then you're going to select your term from the drop-down, fall 2008, click Submit. Select your agency here. So in our case, Consumer Product Safety Commission, and click Submit. And this is going to bring us the agency agenda for the Consumer Product Safety Commission for the fall 2008.